Good evening. Stefan was on assignment today. And we begin with the chaos surrounding Ottawa's light rail transit system. Commuters, they were looking for answers and accountability today after a stalled train during yesterday's rush hour forced passengers to disembark and walk to the nearest station. As CTV's Leah LaRocque tells us, this latest transit issue led to major delays and crowded platforms and has riders wondering if they deserve compensation.
Currently walking the tracks.
This was definitely not part of the planned commute home for Beth Leonard.
Heading into Pimsey Station, the train kind of lurched forward and came to an abrupt stop.
She was on the westbound train that had a mechanical failure between Lyon and Pimsey Station Tuesday night. The train stalled, turning the afternoon rush hour into chaos and confusion.
We walked on the tracks through the snow and had to basically step up onto the platform.
Robin Farrow was on the train too.
I was relieved to get out of the car because it was quite claustrophobic to be stuck in there with all of the people. And there was probably a couple hundred of us, and then there was no bus or train to pick us up, so we all had to figure out how to get home from there.
This is just the latest in a not-so-good start to 2026 for OC Transpo, not just on the tracks, but also on the roads, problems with buses and reliability. OC Transpo has pulled much of its Line 1 fleet because of another issue with the axle. But the aging buses also can't keep up with demand, resulting in hundreds of trips being canceled every day. Carlos Baus gave up this morning and decided to bike.
It's frustrating, it's disappointing. I think there should be something by way of compensations, just some, free ridership, something like that.
But OC Transpo says any decision on compensation has to be made by council.
If there are savings from not paying RTG the full bill every month, then I think that's where there might be some wiggle room to provide some relief to passengers.
So our focus needs to be on the reliability aspect and reducing these occurrences from happening. Having, a quicker response time in terms of our staff to communicate is part of it.
Leonard says riders deserve better than just hoping for the best.
I'm going to cross my fingers. And I really hope that they just light a fire with this issue.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Well, while some riders are asking for refunds, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe says that is not the way to go.
I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, I'm irritated by the challenges we've had with public transit. But the team at OC Transpo is doing everything it can to improve service. So I think it's financially irresponsible for us to talk about giving money to our riders when we should be giving that money to OC Transpo to provide better service. What I hear over and over again from residents is they don't want refunds, they want better service.
Sutcliffe adds delivering reliable service is the top priority and that more mechanics have been hired to help fix the aging bus fleet. And while frustration with the transit system reaches a peak, there are questions about when the Ontario government will take over the LRT. Premier Ford was here in Ottawa for the first ministers' meeting with the Prime Minister. Ford is facing renewed pressure to follow through on his promise to upload the LRT to the province. Last February, during his campaign, Premier Doug Ford promised to upload Ottawa's LRT system to Metrolinx. Negotiations started in the fall, but there seems to be little progress made on the transfer. At City Hall today, the mayor said the negotiations are complicated, adding it would save the city $85 million a year.
This is a game changer for the residents of Ottawa and for public transit in our city. We've had multiple conversations with them recently about moving this forward, and I can't give a timeline at this point, but there's a willingness on both sides to make progress on this in the near future.
Now, the Premier gave no indication as to why little progress has been made. Here's some of what he had to say.
We're continuing to work with them, and we're going to continue talking to them. We've made some huge investments for the people of Ottawa, and we're going to continue to invest in the people of Ottawa. I think the last deal was about $700 million, uploading a highway and giving them quite a few other things that they need. And we'll be there to support them on the LRT as well.
Now, the city needs this deal to address its nearly $50 million gap in its transit budget, and officials say they've been hoping senior levels of government would step in. All right, we'll take our first check of the weather. That's a look at Dow's Lake there behind me. A chilly evening that we had. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam again. Minus 14 degrees here in the capital. Let's check in with CTV's Jackie Perez with our first check on the weather. Jackie.
Well, for Thursday, we're anticipating mainly clear skies, lots of sunshine in the afternoon, but there is still a chance we could see some flurries moving through. Daytime high will be minus 13, but again, factor in that wind chill is still going to feel closer to minus 21, so you definitely want to bundle up. Overnight lows going down to about minus 16 for tonight with the chance of flurries. We'll get a full look at your forecast in just a bit. Kimberly.
Thank you, Jackie. We're following developing news from the Clarington area tonight. The Ottawa Police Services Homicide Unit is investigating a death that occurred on the 1400 block of Mayview Avenue around 7:10. Now, Ottawa paramedics say an adult male was transported to hospital in critical condition with life-threatening stab wounds. Police say the man has now died from his injuries. 2 individuals are now in custody. The investigation is ongoing. Officers remain on the scene as police believe that there is an ongoing risk to public safety. The victim's name has not been released, and anyone with information is asked to contact the homicide unit. Well, there was a frightening situation at Ottawa's airport this morning after a small plane slid off the runway. According to airport officials, the pilot reported issues with the landing gear before declaring an emergency. Now, one side of the gear wouldn't lock into place, causing the aircraft to leave the runway. Photos posted to social media show the plane sitting on the snow beside the tarmac. Now, only the pilot was on board at the time and thankfully not injured. The incident did not impact operations at the airport. Well, dozens of people gathered outside the U.S. Embassy along Sussex Drive this evening for a vigil in memory of Alex Preddy, the ICU nurse fatally shot by a U.S. Border Patrol officer over the weekend in Minneapolis.
I've been wondering a lot since his murder, what's making this resonate so much with people.
The U.S. officials said Preddy, who had a permit to carry a gun, was armed and officers fired defensively at a protest on Saturday. Now, his death has sparked widespread outrage and further protests as bystander videos does not appear to show Preddy holding a weapon before he was shot. Preddy was the second American citizen killed this month during ongoing immigration enforcement crackdowns in Minnesota. Well, the drive home wasn't an easy one for commuters in the East End on the Queensway this evening. Ontario Provincial Police are on scene of the westbound 417 just past Moody Drive, where an excavator fell off a transport truck. 2 lanes were blocked with delays backed up to the 416 for about 90 minutes. Now, paramedics say they were not called to the scene. Police say the cause of the incident is under investigation. Ottawa firefighters responded to a carbon monoxide leak at a residential high-rise in Centretown West. Now, according to Ottawa Fire Services, it happened on the 25th floor of a building at 105 Champaign Avenue South, and this was just before 3:30 this afternoon. The source of the leak was a faulty HVAC unit. A hazmat team ventilated each floor of the building, but there was no need for an evacuation. Paramedics say they were called to the scene, but did not treat any patients. A 49-year-old woman from Brampton is facing charges in connection with a theft from Bayshore Shopping Center. Police were called to the mall last Tuesday after someone reported a theft in progress at a clothing store. Police say officers later recovered a large amount of stolen merchandise from where the suspect was staying. We heard directly from some of the federal government workers today affected by job cuts. Canada's largest public sector union held a rally at Parliament Hill, delivering a message saying the whole country will feel the impact of the layoffs. CTV's Austin Lee reports.
These are important public services. We rely on them.
Tense times for public sector workers, as many like Daphne Chan learn they will soon be without a job.
I was more in shock at first, and then it was last Tuesday, and then later on during the week, I actually felt quite depressed and upset and almost sick.
She is one of thousands of workers impacted by the latest round of job cuts. Cuts union leaders warn will impact services from old age security to employment insurance.
These programs are the lifelines, and when the government cuts jobs at Employment and Social Development Canada, it isn't just cutting workers, it's cutting support for people at their most vulnerable moments.
The federal government is ramping up its efforts to cut 28,000 jobs over the next 4 years, sending more than 18,000 workforce adjustment notices to workers across 30 departments and museums, 15,000 of which were sent in just the past 2 weeks.
It's really tough at work, and the morale is really not good.
These cuts in the National Capital Region are going to deeply touch not just the individuals, but their families and their communities.
The rich got charity! Canadians got austerity!
Wednesday's rally calling on the federal government to share details on how services and programs could be affected.
It's just going to be tough because people are already complaining that the services aren't already good. So then if mass cuts, I don't know how the services are going to get any better.
Union leaders accusing the federal government of leaving Canadians in the dark.
This government needs to be very clear with the public on how many programs and services will be affected by the result of these reckless cuts.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
Well, it's been years in the making, and now Council has unanimously approved a comprehensive new zoning bylaw that will change the way neighborhoods across the city are built and developed for years to come. Here's a look at some of the major changes approved with the final draft. One is allowing buildings with a maximum height of 3 stories in most neighborhoods, with an option to increase to 4 stories in some areas. On main streets, buildings will be taller and closer together, with the maximum height increasing from 30 stories. That's up from 27. And in suburban areas, all high-rises more than 600 meters away from transit stations will be limited to 18 stories. And there will be no more minimum parking requirements for new builds, except in rural areas where at least 1 space per unit will be required.
Provincial planning regulations are directing us to grow. Ottawa still has a quality of life that is meaningful for people across the country, and they are choosing to live here. And our official plan has made the right choice to grow up and not to grow out for financial and environmental reasons.
Now, the zoning changes come on the heels of the city's approval of the new official plan, which prioritizes building more homes to accommodate the expected near doubling of the population here in Ottawa over the next 25 years. Well, also at City Hall, councillors voted today to explore further options to the project to protect, the Canada Golf and Country Club from being developed. A motion from Councillor Kathy Curry called on staff to look at options to secure the long-term protection of the land, including potentially acquiring the property. Now, that motion passed with a vote of 21-3. The site on Campo Drive has been the subject of legal battles for years. But last September, the court cleared the way for 1,500 homes to be built on the golf course lands. Councillors also confirmed the landfill as being a done deal. Ottawa taxpayers are set to become the owners of an East End dump that's being purchased for $95 million. Now, the sale is being regarded as a win, with the land valued above the $140 million mark. It's situated on Boundary Road between Divine Road and Highway 417. Now that it has been bought, city staff will work to integrate it into the waste management plan. More details on that are set to become available next year.
Long pass ahead. Here comes Nick Cousins driving the net. Scores!
Well, the Senators in charge, they're both in action tonight. The Sens are looking for back-to-back wins at home as the Avs pay a visit to the capital.
Home openers on May 8th, and we've got a great special announcement coming on February 11th when our home opener tickets go on sale to, kickstart a great season and make sure everyone understands that, baseball's in full swing in Ottawa.
Well, it's still winter, but the Ottawa Titans are already getting ready for baseball season. It's 100 days until their home opener. The team providing a small preview of what's to come, saying fans can expect some special events and a full season of action in the capital. Well, it's Brianne Jenner bobblehead night for the Ottawa Charge over at TD Place Arena. But let's start at the CTC with the Ottawa Senators looking to piggyback off a big offensive win against the Golden Knights on Sunday. Tonight, the Sens welcome the Avalanche to the capital.
The center, here comes Giroux with Stutzle going to the net. Giroux scores! What a shot for Giroux!
Giroux with his 10th goal of the season, putting the Sens up 3-1 over Colorado. That was also your game-winning goal. The Sens go on to the 5-3 win. They added 2 empty netters. Ottawa is back on home ice this Saturday when they play the New Jersey Devils.
Then across now for Jenner.
you heard it there. That's Ottawa's own Rebecca Leslie to tie the game at 2 in the third. The assist comes from Captain Brienne Jenner with her 50th PWHL career point on her bobblehead night. Now, with less than 30 seconds left in the game, Leslie gets her second goal of the game, and Emily Clark will seal the 4-2 win for the Charge. The Charge also play again on home ice on Saturday when the Boston Fleet will pay a visit here to the capital. All right, we'll take a break here, take another look at weather. Has a look at Confederation Park, future home of Snowflake Kingdom, where Winterlude will be kicking off very shortly. Let's head over to Jackie Perez again in the CTV Weather Center for a look at your extended forecast. Jackie.
All right, so when we're looking at our overnight lows, it's going to be about -16. Yes, there is still a slight chance that we could see some flurries, but we are looking at mainly clear skies as we get towards tomorrow evening. Daytime high tomorrow is going to be -12. We still got those northwesterly winds moving in, so we're still going to get the Arctic chill moving through. Tonight's lows across the region around -15, -16 for the Seaway as well as here in Ottawa. As we look towards the valley, it's going to be more about -18, -22, so still quite chilly for the overnight, that cold Arctic air lingering from the last several days. Tomorrow's daytime highs, though, it is trending warmer, but gradually. -12 the daytime high for here in Ottawa, -10, -11 around the Seaway, -16 around Petawawa as well as Pembroke. But again, the chance of flurries could be lingering for most of our Thursday. But by the evening, it should be clearing out to clear skies for the evening. Overnight lows into Friday, though, still sticking to -22. Daytime high for Friday is -13. First day of Winterlude, so you still want to bundle up. But Saturday, Sunday, and I'm liking the trend for the start of early next week where we will get back to -single digits. Kimberly.
Thanks, Jackie. Well, still to come, if you have a driveway, you've likely dealt with the dreaded windrow. That's the pile of snow left behind by a passing snowplow. Some think the city should take care of it, but that request comes with a cost to taxpayers. Well, if you're looking for a romantic date spot for Valentine's Day, you may want to book a reservation at one of these restaurants in the capital region. Open Table has released its list of the most romantic restaurants in Canada. 2 places in Ottawa and 1 in Gatineau have made the cut. Riviera on Spark Street, Zoe's at the Fairmont Chateau Laurier, and Arome at Hilton Laclimi in Gatineau all claimed a spot on the list. Well, after multiple dumps of snow in recent weeks, you've probably shoveled your driveway more often than you'd like. But even if you think you're keeping up, it's the plow that can get you, leaving that small wall of snow at the end of your driveway. Now, some cities clear it for their residents, so CTV's Tyler Fleming asked the city, could Ottawa start doing that too?
Terry McKay's trick to tackling snowfall.
I like to shovel it right after it falls because that's its lightest time.
His real battle starts at the end of the driveway after passing plows leave a heavy pile.
And then the plow comes around the corner, drags all the snow from Earl Mulligan, the main street, and pushes it on in front of my driveway.
It's called a windrow, and it's part of winter life in the city.
Oh, it's really annoying.
And my driveway's right here.
Sharon Grant's solution.
I've got a husband and an 18-year-old son, and they do most of the work.
But not everyone can. Some municipalities, like Mississauga, clear residents' windrows using specialized equipment, which costs taxpayers around $50 per household every year.
It'd be worth it for the convenience, but I don't know if I want to pay extra taxes.
I would contemplate it for sure.
And it would be expensive. Officials say Ottawa is just too big.
Back even a few years ago, we were talking $20 million. And that's only to serve a small segment of the population of Ottawa, because of course not everyone has a laneway. At this point, it's just not cost effective.
The city's priority, timely response to clearing and removing snow on more than 12,000 lane kilometers of roads.
That is our focus, and we have to do that for the safe transportation of all users, whether you're walking, cycling, or driving.
I had it perfectly cleared out and big chunk of snow right there to block it all out.
So for now, the windrow wins, and in more ways than one.
It's hard too, like you break your shovels after time. Like I lost my blade on the shovel because I've been just scooping all the ice. So
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
This is one of the best winters we've had for a long time.
I just don't like the cold anymore.
Right after the break, how do you beat the winter blues? Well, some Ottawa residents, they'll share their tips. Well, according to data and marketing firm Environics Analytics, Canadians continue to avoid trips to the U.S. Domestic travel was up 9% between July and September last year. That's compared to the same period in 2024. And when it comes to where Canadians are going, Prince Edward Island is proving to be popular. Trips to that province, they were up more than 13% between July and September. And that's followed by Ontario, where trips were up by 12%. In New Brunswick, that's seeing a bump in visitors of 11.4%, and trips to Saskatchewan were up by 11.3%. Well, are you tired of the snow and the cold with the long gray days? Many of us are already looking forward to spring, but there are some ways to beat the winter blues and enjoy the season. CTV's Peter Sperling has more.
Margaret Kenny is embracing winter skiing in Gatineau Park.
It was great, especially where the sun's shining. It's lovely.
For her, snow is the gift that keeps on giving, with Ottawa receiving nearly 170 centimeters since November.
This is one of the best winters we've had for a long time.
Whether it's skiing or skating down the canal.
It's a nice way to be outside.
With a beaver tail stop, of course.
Is it tasty? Yeah.
While many do embrace the season, what's fun for some, well, for others, they've just had enough.
Absolutely. I just don't like the cold anymore.
It's really cold. It's the cold. I don't mind the snow.
Certainly not ideal weather to be waiting for a bus.
It sucks. It's not fun. These are times where you wish you had a car. Cancun, Mexico.
This group of 12 family and friends getting a break.
We try to get away from the cold once a year.
But for the rest of us, no relief in sight.
I don't think there is. Maybe from the snow a bit, but certainly not from the cold.
David Phillips with Environment Canada says winter is not letting up.
And you know, you're only a week beyond what we call the dead of winter, the halfway point. So there's still a lot of winter to go. I think that typically what you see in February, March, and April is about 48% of your annual snowfall is yet to come.
So, while parts of winter can be a pain, the season sure can be beautiful.
I mean, look at the trees. They're just gorgeous. They've got the snow on them. It's like a postcard. We're lucky, right?
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
All right, coming up, release the fleece. Canadians will finally be able to get their hands on the famous fleece jacket from the hit show Heated Rivalry.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sanaya Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky camera. Still sitting at minus 14 degrees here in Ottawa. We'll have one more check on the weather. Let's throw things over again to Jackie for our final check of weather. Jackie.
All right, we're starting things off minus 16, feeling more like minus 21, but we are still seeing a chance of flurries. Likely, though, sunshine for our afternoon. This is the good news. What I'm liking, though, is by the start of early next week, it will be at the end of the deep freeze, minus 4 our average daytime highs. Lots of sunshine really across the board. We just got to get through Thursday and Friday before we are guaranteed lots of sunshine. Kimberly.
Well, thanks, Jackie. Well, the excitement over Crave's hit show Heated Rivalry doesn't seem to be fading, and now fans' calls to release the fleece have been answered. Now, one of the main characters, Shane Hollinger here, wore the jacket in the show while playing for Team Canada in the Olympics. Now, since then, people have been wondering where they can get one, even making some versions of their own. The show's production company is teaming up with Canadian-owned clothing brand called Province of Canada, which will produce and sell the jacket, and now fans will be able to buy the internet-famous fleece jacket. I know that former MP and Olympian Adam Van Koeverden had one made up. We also had Councillor Tim Tierney, his wife, made one. They're a hot commodity, so looks like they're going to be really, really cool if someone can get their hands on that. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Wednesday, January the 28th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app anytime. And for News on the Go, listen to News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you again tomorrow night.